This podcast is brought to you by Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate, powered by Kangaroo Fern Media Lab. Kangaroo Fern is Australia's independent video and podcast management agency with the mission to help individuals and entrepreneurs to start their own podcasts and harness the power of podcasting. Book now via www.kangaroofern.com.
A Kangaroo Fern production.
A Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate.
Thing we can do is just get stops and run. Stops and run, guys. Push, push, push every time.
Extra session with Kiko Malikdem tackles everything about the world of sports, especially the one close to the host's heart, basketball. Updates, discussion, clarification, name it. Extra session has it. Extra session with Kiko Malikdem.
So good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Extra Session with Kiko Malikdem here in Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate. This is episode 3 of season 2, and today we're very fortunate to have with us a veteran basketball player. He played in the NBA for one season after being drafted 35th overall in the 1988 NBA draft. He was best remembered by the Philippine basketball fans with his stint with the crowd favorite Ginebra San Miguel in 1990. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sylvester Gray. Good day, Sylvester.
Hello. Hi, how's everyone doing? Chico, thank you.
Yes, and I'm happy that you were able to, join us. What's keeping you busy nowadays?
Well, my base is Europe, Italy. I do personal training. I have my basketball camps. I also continue to play with the over 50. There's a national team in Italy, but since the COVID has come around, we haven't been able to do our thing. But at my age, I'm still playing, and it's a great life for me.
Before we start recording this, I was telling you that it seems that you haven't changed a bit, and it seems that you're in tip-top shape. What's the secret of that?
Trying to keep a clear mind. Growing up in the rules of America, Memphis, Millicent, Tennessee. Growing up in a basketball or athletic environment. That has always stayed with me until today. Growing with great players. Just staying active. Not trying to have too much pressure during this time or in the past, because I know pressure is real. So it's just something that I do, and I thank nature for giving me this opportunity to stay this way. Thank you.
Yeah, I see. So, you played. Yeah, let's talk about your colorful basketball career. How did you actually start? For you, were you really a basketball loving guy when you were still a small boy?
Um, I wouldn't say basketball. I would say I was an all around athlete. Uh, Baseball, football, running track. Whatever sports that was around during my time. I was in it. Like I said before, I came from a small area in Millicent, Tennessee, where the athlete was so abundant.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up in an environment like that, you can't help but to catch on and see something and continue to do it. So as a child, uh, athlete and sports was something that I grabbed onto early, and I enjoyed it. So I just continued.
Mm-hmm. I see. Now, uh, what made you choose? You played college ball in Memphis State University. You know,
Right?
uh, what made you choose to play for that school? Were there other schools that courted you?
Yes. Funny you mentioned that. I was just reading some articles of mine from the past, and I read up on an article where my mother had stated that there were so many colleges that was after me that she had to change her number. And so and choosing Memphis Memphis State University. It was a great program back in the days, and just to stay in my hometown amongst my family and friends, uh, it was there. I mean, there was no reason to go any other place in the nation or the country, so I just stayed home.
I see. So it's near to your place. That's why you chose Memphis. Now, um, you played for the Miami Heat in the 1988-89 season, wherein,
Right,
if my research is right, you played for around 55 games. How was
right.
the experience of playing in the big league?
So that's um, a heavy question for me right now, just because I was still a young child. I
Mhm.
was in actually in my sophomore year in university. So just because I came out of university early because of some certain things,
Mhm.
and I mean to play inside the NBA during that time with the great players like Magic and Michael and Larry Bird and Kareem and Charles Barkley, it's something I can't explain. It was just a moment for me where I was like, oh, I didn't know what was I was still a child, but I was enjoying myself. I mean, in that era, you know how physical that time was. So I mean, it was like part of my growing up being physical and playing in the big league. So it was like, now that I look back on it, but my memory of playing in the NBA is, as a my mind was still as a child. But now that I see and I can feel that period in the past, I mean, it was great.
I see. Were you starstruck? When you saw the so-called NBA legend.
Uh, I can sit here and say no. I can say yes,
Yeah.
and there would be for the audience to decide. But when I saw Kareem and Magic and all those guys, I mean, it was like, wow,
Oh.
I'm really here. It was a dream of mine. If you had the opportunity to read my newspaper where
Mhm.
I stated, it was like I stated in my childhood days, like I'm going to the NBA.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that time came, it was like, wow. I mean, I manifested my own my own dream, or
Mhm.
whatever happened, I was there. So I mean, it was like, wow. I mean, I thought I was big, but
Mhm.
seeing like Karl Malone and
Yeah.
uh, Kareem and all those guys, Elijah one. It was like, wow, I made it. So
Yeah.
it was great. I mean, the starstruck for me, it really happened.
Mhm. Now, after that season, you went on to play in the CBA for the Rapid
Right?
City Thrillers. What happened with the Miami Heat? Because we check on the stats, on how you played. I mean, based on the points, I mean, it's a good performance for a rookie back then. What
Yeah.
happened?
Well, I mean, I can ask myself the same thing. What happened? To this day, I don't know.
Mhm.
I know I had a very productive season in the
Mhm.
NBA. Maybe it was something that I done or what have you.
Mhm.
But for me to only get like a 1 year chance to prove myself, I think it's kind of a raw deal for me. Whoever did this uh, juggling around and things like that, maybe it was a 1 year deal for this guy coming from a small town. That's all he can handle. But like you said, I mean, I had a very productive season.
Mhm.
Uh, I have no clue. I mean,
Mhm.
and plus, if you go back to my college and high school days, there's more things that connects to that. I can
Mhm.
sit here and tell you a story, but you won't believe it until you see the documents. So I mean, it was like this was like a blue chip.
Mhm.
This chip was like, okay, move this chip here, take this chip and put it over here. So it's like this chip get pushed away.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like one of those chips that got pushed away for
Oh,
some what reason I don't know.
yes. Now, like what I said, you played in the CBA, and then you were able to play for. Correct me if I'm wrong. For the late Flip Saunders, or was it Eric Musselman already?
I played for Eric Muslim, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I always had a great time with those coaches. And I'm blessed to have been coached by some of the best coaches in the world.
Mm-hmm.
From my high school, college, NBA, CBA, the Philippines, under Jaworski,
Yeah.
that it's like wow. It's like I was this player that that's valuable to these coaches. It was something amazing.
Mm-hmm. Now, after 2 years in the CBA, you found yourself, in the Philippines, playing for the most popular team until now. Well, believe it or not, it's they're called as Ginebra San Miguel. But when you played for their franchise, their name was Anejo Rhum. How
Right,
did you get to the Philippines? Who hooked you up?
man. That's the a question I have no clue. I can never answer that, Kiko. I mean, I'm just I'm just going along with the program.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. The steps. Who knows what the future holds? And here I am today talking to you about these things. I mean, I have no idea how I ended up there, but I thank whoever. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience.
I see. And how what is it like playing in the PBA?
Um, I was enjoying myself in the CBA. I mean,
PBA,
it was
PBA, PBA.
PBA. Okay,
Yes.
PBA. I mean, the most the experience I had and my my most memorable moments were the public, were the people, the city in general,
Hmm.
and basketball was part of it. The Philippines. I never heard of it, but then I got there and I met the people, and to see what it was like. I mean, it was a lovely experience. I mean, it was very heart touching, heartwarming. Playing with some of the guys, I can't remember the name. Believe me, the only person I remember is Coach Jaworski.
Jaworski.
How tough he was, how he always pushed me to be better. And today I always want to talk to him because I was still young, even though when I was there at that time.
Yes.
But as I grew older, I want to talk to all these people that I had a connection
Mhm.
with. So
And
if you're looking, Coach Jaworski, hello.
yeah, well, would you believe that he became a senator?
Yeah, I heard that at one time.
Yes. And how was Jaworski or Senator Jaworski as a coach? You said he was like a great coach to you. Was he a strict one, or was he somehow a laid back person?
Both. He was very demanding,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
Loved me personally. Like I said, I had a chance to play with some of the best coaches in the world. He was one of those coaches that I can put in the same on the same plate as my high school coach,
Mm-hmm.
my university coach, my NBA coach, and all the
Mm-hmm.
coaches that I've been underneath here in Europe, Italy. So all these coaches that I played with and also underneath, they have always been aggressive but loving. I mean, they
Yes,
know they knew what they was doing.
I see. Now, you were a fantastic reinforcement or import for Añejo Ram. You were averaging, I'm not closing, but you were scoring around 30, 40 points. But the season ended in a controversial manner. Could you recall what happened with the walkout? Can you walk us through it? What was the discussion? Did you want to play? the game, finish the game, or were you one with the bosses to proceed with the walkout?
I
What
didn't.
can you
I can't.
recall then?
I can't recall. I mean, I was reading about it at some point
Mm-hmm.
about the controversy, just because
Mm-hmm.
uh, it was the foul they were giving me. I was in foul trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then there was a situation before they was talking about my height and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess at that time we were
Oh,
too strong
yeah.
for the league. We were too strong for the league. I
Yeah.
think we were playing uh Bobby Parks.
Yes. The late Bobby
Yeah,
Parks. Yeah, the late Bobby Parks.
yeah. He's also from Memphis, so
Yes.
we were from the same
Oh,
area,
yeah.
right? And I mean, I can remember something like again. My mind is not
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yes.
So I mean, but I remember it was a tough game. I remember the fans and how hard it was and things like that. I mean, and to walk out, I think that was the first time that happened in the PBA.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
a walkout.
In a
So I've
finals,
been.
know.
I mean, it was a hard nosed game. I mean, I can remember the shouting fans, and I mean, to be in a situation like this with so many people around. I mean, it was like
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah, if I could remember, that 1990 finals was a close one. Every game was hard fought. It could have gone in other way. Uh, Añejo could have won the games that you lost. Formula Shell could have won the games that they lost. So it was a balance. The finals was featuring balanced teams. How was the
Right,
how was how did you communicate? I mean, during the finals, of course, you said Bobby Parks was from Memphis also. So somehow the two of you are connected. Were there, at the time where there were trash talking between the two of you?
no, I mean, I'm not that type of player.
Mm-hmm.
I just I enjoy playing the game. I enjoy playing the game 110%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I play, I play. There's not so much talking and things like that because uh, I remember from the NBA, it was Larry Bird and also Kareem Olajuwon.
Yes.
They always they say to me, "Don't waste your breath." You know, just because you're gonna need that later on. So it was just I always played the game. So that's it.
Mm-hmm. I see. And then I couldn't. Good thing that you help us remember. I know you were one of the controversial imports at the time because of the height. I
Right,
remember that. That was a funny thing. But then the PBA at the time were very conscious with the height limit of the imports.
right.
Yeah, and uh, now, after the tournament, you found yourself playing in Europe and then back in the CBA. A lot of people were wondering, why didn't you come back in the PBA? Especially, I mean, you had a good performance. I mean, you had a problem with the schedule, or no one called you up?
No one called me up, and
Oh.
maybe because I didn't have uh, great representation with my agents or things like that.
Mm.
Again, business and things like that. I had no clue because
Mm.
coming up in a small town
Mm-hmm.
in Tennessee, Milton, Memphis, Tennessee, I was more miseducated on business and things like that. I was just a child enjoying life, playing and not looking at the business and anything like that.
Oh, that
Okay,
Are you a podcaster who's getting frustrated because your show results are not in your favor? Are you losing hope because you feel like podcasting doesn't help you generate income? Are you a podcast service provider who is struggling to meet your clients' expectations? If yes, head on to www.podkai.com. Book a call with the founder of Podkai Media, Kai Villanueva, and get clear and proven strategies to earn through podcasting.
That's why a lot of fans. I'm not at that time. I'm not an Ginebra fan or a Neo fan, but I was more of a Pure Foods fan before. Uh, I was wondering why hasn't Sylvester Gray come back? Well, he was a great import, and he could.
I would have loved to come back to there. I would enjoy coming back because I mean it was just
Mhm,
it was the people. It was
mhm.
the people that I really enjoyed.
Yes, and then uh actually after 1990, the you were able to surprise a lot when you came back to play for Alaska. How did it happen? It took you 7 years to come back. It was a long time.
I mean, it was if the thing was up to me, I would came back every year. You know,
Yeah.
but seeing things now, uh, how things work with the business and the movement around with the players and things like that. I mean, I can see
Mm-hmm.
maybe sometimes a player is too strong or too popular where the
Mm-hmm.
system just don't want you. I can speak on that on another level, from high
Mm-hmm.
school, from college, NBA, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a person in general can just be too valuable.
Mm-hmm.
You can outshine someone without even playing the game.
I see. Now, uh, you receive. I mean, you played for Alaska, but then during the middle of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken, semifinals, something like that. I mean, you left. What happened after that?
I don't know. I have no clue, Kiko. What went on back in those days? I mean, really, I have no clue. I don't know why I left or who pulled me away. I have
Mhm.
no clue. Really,
Oh,
it puzzled me a lot.
oh, I see. I mean, you were playing good at that time, So basically, you were. I mean, the news. I mean, when we did some research, you left something or you were replaced. So I actually don't have clue for that. Mm.
Me either. I mean, I'm with you. I have no
Mhm.
clue what went on, and still, but I kept moving. I kept going on with my life, and didn't let anything like that stop me or hinder me, pull me down.
I see. And then you continued playing until the late part of the 2000s. So around 2000 to 2010. Uh, I mean, what was the turning point in your career that made you think, it's time for me to retire?
Well, I mean, retire. I think I retire when I'm dead, because I'm still playing. I'm still healthy and I can still run, jump, and shoot. So I
Mhm.
mean, retire is something maybe someone said,
I mean,
again in the limit
stop
they put it
playing
out.
basketball professionally, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the league pushed me out back in
Oh, okay.
2000 2006. That's
Hmm.
when I actually stopped playing professional.
I see.
Uh, it's more things to them also, just because
Mhm.
of some things some doctors said, some coaches said, uh, to put things out in the air uh, that we say that didn't want other teams to contact me because
Mhm.
something that other people said about me, which it never happened or it didn't appear to me or it didn't,
Mhm.
like an injury. It gave me an
Mm.
injury where I never had. You know,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, it's the world of misinformation.
Mhm.
When people say things, like I said before, you can be too great. They have to find something to push you out. I
Mhm.
think I was one of those players where, okay, this guy has this and this guy has that, but
Mhm.
shit, I never missed a game for an injury they gave me.
I see. Now, what was the biggest? Well, let's start with a positive one. What was your biggest achievement in your basketball career?
Oh, great question. I can go back to high school.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I feel like my high school days was my glory days, just because of being named Mr. Basketball in Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
uh, being being one of the best players for Gatorade.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh.
know, and yeah, and things go on. You know, I was the best freshman when I made it to university.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just many things put together. I just can't uh, choose one, but it was my high school days that actually started the wheel to roll, because everything, being one of the top 25 players in the nation.
I see. And then
Uh, so
of course, with your biggest, the achievement that you have in your basketball, what is the biggest disappointment in your career? What do you think?
I don't have any.
Mhm.
My my thing is the disappointment is how people uh, it push me away, or X me out for no reason.
Mhm.
And that's a very disappointment feeling for me. I'm pretty sure there would be a feeling for a lot of people. You know,
Mhm.
uh, I mean, it was just something where, like I said, with the doctors and the coaches and the general managers, like they all came together and like, okay, this is enough. You know, instead of just asking me or diagnosing me with the physical feeling, instead of just going by an X-ray machine or something like that. You know, the disappointment is the people outward. You know,
Mhm.
I never did anything uh, to the system. So
Mhm.
I mean, like the system is missing for some reason. I don't know.
I see. Now, um, so basically, you said you have a family right now. Do you have any children that that would like to follow your footsteps as a player?
Well, I mean, I have, but to follow my footsteps, I wouldn't say that. I would like them to, do their own steps. You know,
Mhm.
whatever comes to them and what makes them happy, and things like that. So, it's up to them. You know, I laid the foundation for, for many people,
Mhm.
not only my children, but also for other children around me and my nephews and
Mhm.
people who watch me, the younger children. I work with many young children till today.
I see. Now, um, you said you were running a basketball camp,
Right.
there in Italy. Um, do have you thought of being a full-time coach in a basketball team? Does that cross your mind already?
Well, yeah, I tried again. For many years, I tried here in Europe, in Italy,
Mhm.
to work with the children.
I see.
I even got my license to coach.
Oh, okay.
But then again, it's something that kept me away from the system.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know, because the children love me here. Uh, they always ask me, "Oh, okay, when you gonna coach?" I said, "Hey, I'm always ready to coach, but then again, there's another this energy out there that don't want me to be around your children. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
again, maybe it's my way of coaching,
Mm-hmm.
or way I handle with the children, because my way is not their way."
I see. Now, do you? We'll go back with the PBA during your time. Do you remember, your toughest opponent in the PBA?
So you want to start a podcast? Or perhaps you've already started one, but you're still unclear on how you can actually make this podcasting work. No worries. That's why we're here for you. We are Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate, powered by Kangaroo Fern Media Lab. Join our network. Contact us at info@kangaroofern.com because we're stronger together.
Yeah. I can't remember name. I
Yeah.
mean, there was one guy I have his picture with who was
Mm.
pretty tall. Uh, he wore goggles. Uh,
Is
and
it a Filipino or import?
it was a Filipino actually, because they always play hard. They always play hard against me. Now, I'm pretty sure they played hard against all the players that came there. But just because when you come to an area, you go to the home of other people, they're always gonna play hard. And and plus it was so hot. I
Yeah.
mean, all the guys play hard. It never was a easy game
Mm-mm.
for games that I played. It was always a battle. It was a
Mm-mm.
war. And I remember the first time I caught cramps in the Philippines.
Yeah, I have to recall that, because I was still, around 10 years old back then. So I would have to recall all the players that has the goggles at the time when you were.
Yeah.
No, but that's one great thing that you said. So anybody who's watching this, you could send us a message. Who could that be? Who that player could be? Now, I mean, uh if ever there would be some offers from Philippine basketball that would entice you to return to be, let's say, a consultant, a coach, or a trainer, would you grab that opportunity?
Yes. Yes. Without a second thought, I would come
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
Just because of the feeling that I have for the people,
Mm-hmm.
how well they treated me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when I was around on the streets and I see little children around, because that reminded me of myself when I was a child. Just
Yeah.
running around having fun and you don't have no thoughts.
I see.
Just driving through the pasture when I was seeing the people out there, and it was just it
Yeah.
reminded me so much of me when I was young.
Were you able to see old photos of you playing in the PBA?
No, I have one or two photos.
I see.
Uh,
Well, I would look for it, and I would, tag you with it, because we do have some pages that really, it's like a trip down to memory lane.
right, right.
That's why, yeah. How about Sylvester Gray? Yeah, he was a great import. Whatever happened to him? Something like that.
I'm still here, guys. I'm still kicking it.
Now, do you have any message for your fans, supporters, and family before we wrap things up?
Well, I mean, I want to say thank everyone for the support.
Mhm.
Thank you for reaching out and having this pleasant conversation. I guess it's been a long time coming. Here we are. Uh, and I just want to say to my fans, if I still have some out there,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
I miss you guys, and I hope one day we can reunite and have some sit
I,
down conversation, or you all bring your kids to me and see where we can go from there.
I see. Now, one more thing. Well, there were a lot of former PBA players or imports that played in the Philippines. Usually they settle down in back in America. But I was surprised. That's why when we were talking, chatting, what in what time zone are you in right now? So I was surprised. Whoa, you're in Italy. Well, I mean,
I'm in Italy.
yeah, what made you decide to stay put in Italy?
Uh, you never know what the future holds for you, and I found myself a home away from home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I found that that the situation here with the people was much greater than my home base. For us communicating and the feelings
Mhm.
the people have for me, even though if they knew I wasn't a basketball player, then it's just a different type of feeling.
I see.
From a small town, and like I said, cutthroat city. I say the cutthroat because going up there and my experience there was terrible. And coming here and seeing men and living here is just another like
Mhm.
another home for me.
Okay. Now, so you have before we wrap things up, this is somehow, I was like what I said earlier, I was just like 10 years old when you first
Right.
arrived in the Philippines. So this is somehow like nostalgic, feeling nostalgic right now. And of course being exposed to basketball when I was still a child, having to talk to a former uh, PBA great import. This is
Thank
somehow
you.
a great privilege for me. And you have any final messages, or you to everyone before we wrap things up?
Uh, uh, just stay healthy, stay positive if you can in your mind. It's not too much to say, people, because people don't be who they are and do what they want to do. Um, maybe the children who keep watching, just stay strong, keep working. Uh, talent is not a talent. To have talent, you have to work for it. You have to work continuously every day if you want to be great in whatever you do. And I say I love everyone that support me, and who don't support me, they can go the
Okay.
other way. Okay, so and I thank you, Pico, for reaching out and having this wonderful moment.
Yes, sir. So, this has been a great privilege, like what I said earlier, a great privilege for us to get hold of you, and hopefully we'll be able to get in touch with you. Uh, I know you're very, very busy with your schedule, and I'm so happy that I was able, to get in touch with you. So, that wraps up our episode. Just like I said, a small talk, chit chat, trying to reach out with the former PBA greats. And I would like to thank you again, Mr. Sylvester Gray. Thank you for
Thank you,
spending time
Pico.
with us. And indeed, it was a great honor for us to have you in our podcast. So, like what I said, everyone, this has been Kiko Malikdem in behalf of the Independent Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate Philippines. Games are always exciting if there is extra session.
Run. Thank you for listening. Make sure to visit our website at www.guerrillapodcastsyndicate.com, where you can subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. You can also join the conversation with Gorillas RV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please consider on making a donation to help us keep making the podcast you love. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.